Good morning, year one. How are you? Are you okay? Yeah? Did you have a nice weekend? Good. I hope you've had lots of fun. Okay. And I hope you've had a good day of learning. This is the last thing today, okay? So snuggle down. Yeah, maybe sit on your sofa, maybe get a teddy, chill with your mum and dad, chill with your brothers and sisters. Okay, we're going to have a nice calm end to our busy day of learning. Okay, we're going to learn a new story today, and our story is called The Snail and the Whale, and it's by an author called Julia Donaldson. Okay, so make sure you pay attention, because over the next couple of weeks there's going to be lots of learning on this book, okay, on our blog. So, The Snail and the Whale by Julia Donaldson. This is the tale of a tiny snail and a great big grey blue humpback whale. This is a rock as black as soot, and this is a snail with an itchy foot. The sea snail slithered all over the rock and gazed at the sea and the ships in the dock. And as she gazed, she sniffed and sighed. The sea is so deep and the world is wide. How I long to sail, said the tiny snail. These are the other snails in the flock, who all stuck tight to the smooth black rock, and said to the snail with the itchy foot, "Be quiet, don't wriggle. Sit still, stay put." But the tiny sea snail sighed and sniffed, and then cried, "I've got it, I'll hitch a lift." This is the trail of the tiny snail, a silvery trail that looped and curled and said, "Lift wanted around the world." This is the whale who came one night when the tide was high and the stars were bright, a humpback whale immensely long, who sang to the snail a wonderful song of shimmering ice and coral caves and shooting stars and enormous waves. And this is the tale of the humpback whale. He howled it out of the starlit sea and said to the snail, "Come and sail with me." This is the sea, so wild and free, that carried the whale and the snail on its tail. You see in there? Cool. Two towering icebergs and far off ice and far off lands, with fiery mountains and golden sands. Who knows what that fiery mountain's called? Begins with the V sound. These are the waves that arched and crashed, that foamed and frolicked and sprayed and splashed the tiny snail on the tail of the whale. These are the caves beneath the waves, where stripy fish with feathery fins and sharks with hideous toothy grins swam round the whale and the snail on his tail. Ooh, I hope they're going to be nice to him. This is the sky, so vast and high, sometimes sunny and blue and warm, sometimes filled with a thunderstorm, with zigzag lighting, flashing and frightening the tiny snail on the tail of the whale. Oh, she's holding on tight, isn't she? Yeah. And she gazed at the sky, the sea, the land, the waves and the caves and the golden sand. She gazed and gazed, amazed by it all, and she said to the whale, "I feel so small." But then came the day The whale lost his way. These are the speedboats running a race, zigzag and zooming all over the place, upsetting the whale with their ear-splitting roar, making him swim too close to the shore. This is the tide slipping away. And this is the whale lying beached in a bay. Quick, off the sand, back to sea, cried the snail. I can't move on land, I'm too big, moaned the whale. The snail felt helpless and terribly small. Then, I've got it, she cried, and she started to crawl. I must not fail, said the tiny snail. This is the bell on the school in the bay, ringing the children in from their play. This is the teacher holding her chalk, telling the class, sit straight, don't talk. This is the board as black as soot, and this is the snail with the itchy foot. A snail! A snail! The teacher turns pale. Look, says the children, it's leaving a trail. This is the trail of the tiny snail, a silvery trail saying, save the whale! These are the children running from school, fetching the firemen, digging a pool, squirting and spraying to keep the whale cool. This is the tide coming into the bay, and these are the villagers shouting, hooray! As the whale and the snail travel safely away. Back to the dock and the flock on the rock, who said, how time's flown, and haven't you grown? And the whale and the snail told their wonderful tale of shimmering ice and coral caves, and shooting stars and enormous waves, and of how the snail, so small and frail, with her looping, curling, silvery trail, saved the life of the humpback whale. Then the humpback whale held out his tail, and on crawled snail after snail after snail. And they sang to the sea as they all set sail on the tail of the grey-blue humpback whale. There we go, we're done. I hope you like that story. It's a long story, isn't it? It's really lovely though. So the snail and the whale went on an adventure, didn't they? All over the world, because the snail knew that she wanted to see so much more than just the rock that she was living on. But there was a problem, wasn't there? What was the problem? Who knows what the problem was? Yeah, the whale got lost, didn't he? All the other noises was confusing him. Because if you didn't know, a whale's sense of movement, he uses his hearing to know where to go, which is a bit funny, isn't it? We use our eyes to see, but a whale uses his hearing to see where to go. And he got stuck because all the sounds were disrupting his ears. He got confused, so he got stuck. Who can remember how the snail helped the whale? What did he do? Yes, well done. He went to the school, didn't he? And he wrote a message on the board. What did the message say? Save the whale! Yes, he did. And all the children and all the adults in the village ran down to the shore, didn't they? To look after the whale, keep him cool. Made sure he got lots of water on him so he didn't get too hot and he didn't dry out. Yeah, and then when the tide came back in, they were lucky that he was able to go back out to sea. That was very, very lucky. Right, I'll leave that with you today. Tomorrow we'll do some learning on this. We'll do some writing on this, so we'll have another look. Okay, and I might read you another story at the end of the day. Hope you've had a lovely day of learning and enjoy the rest of your evening. Okay, speak to you tomorrow. Bye.